He denied me my $500,000 bonus. So I exposed him. I worked day and night for years. I helped the company grow. I helped my boss become rich. But when my $500,000 bonus was ready, he denied me everything. So I did something he never expected. I exposed him. My name is Daniel Rivers, and this is the story of how my boss betrayed me and how I destroyed his career. I worked at a big tech company. The CEO's name was Mr. Adrian Wolf. He was famous, rich, and powerful. Everyone respected him. Everyone trusted him. I was one of his top employees. I built systems, managed big clients, and helped close million-dollar deals. People called me the brain behind the company's success. One day, the company closed a huge deal with investors. The contract said I would receive $500,000 bonus, company shares, promotion to senior partner. Adrian shook my hand and said, "Daniel, you earned this. This is your reward." I believed him. I felt proud. I felt safe. After the deal, everything changed. Adrian stopped replying to my emails. He delayed signing the paperwork. He avoided meetings with me. He kept saying, "Finance is busy. Don't worry." But I started to feel something was wrong. After 3 months, I went to his office. "Sir, when will my $500,000 bonus be paid?" He smiled and said, "Be patient. Big money takes time." But his voice felt cold, not like before. One day, a friend from finance whispered to me, "Daniel, your name is gone from the contract." My heart stopped. I checked the documents. My name was removed. The shares were transferred to Adrian. The $500,000 was gone. He took everything. I stormed into his office. "You removed my name from the contract." He leaned back in his chair and said calmly, "Things change. You should be grateful you still work here." I shouted, "That was my money. I earned it." He looked at me coldly and said, "Do you have proof? I'm the CEO. You're just an employee." That moment destroyed me. I felt stupid for trusting him. I felt angry. I felt powerless. Everyone believed him. He was rich and respected. I was just one worker. He thought I would stay silent. That night, I sat in my car for hours. I looked at the old contract on my laptop. I remembered emails, messages, and files I still had. Then I thought, he thinks I have no proof. He thinks I am weak. But he made one big mistake. I decided I would not stay silent. I would expose him. After I confronted Adrian, I thought people would support me. I was wrong. The managers believed him. The investors believed him. Even some co-workers started avoiding me. They saw Adrian as a genius CEO. They saw me as a greedy employee trying to steal money. It hurt deeply. A few days later, HR called me into a meeting. Adrian was there too. He smiled calmly and said, "Daniel misunderstood the contract. He is emotional and confused." HR looked at me and said, "Please stay professional. Accusing the CEO is very serious." I felt shocked. I wasn't accusing him. I was asking for my promised money. But he made me look crazy. After the meeting, Adrian pulled me aside. He leaned close and whispered, "Listen, Daniel, you're smart, but you're not powerful. If you keep talking, I'll make sure you never work in this industry again." Those words scared me. He had connections everywhere. He had money, lawyers, and power. He was threatening my future. Slowly, my job started changing. I was removed from important projects. I stopped getting invited to big meetings. My responsibilities were reduced. People stopped respecting me. Some coworkers whispered, "That's the guy who tried to steal from the CEO." He turned the story against me. Every day I went home tired and angry. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think clearly. I worked for years for that money, and he took it like it was nothing. I felt betrayed by someone I trusted like a mentor. Clients stopped asking for me. Managers stopped trusting me. My name slowly disappeared from big decisions. It felt like my career was being erased, and Adrian acted like nothing happened. One night, I sat alone in my apartment. I opened my laptop and looked at old files. I still had the original contract, emails where Adrian promised the bonus, messages about the investor deal, internal documents showing my work. Then I realized something important. He thinks I have no proof, but I saved everything. My fear started turning into anger. My sadness turned into determination. I whispered to myself, "You stole my money. You humiliated me. Now I will expose you." That night, I made a decision. I would not quit. I would not stay silent. I would gather proof. I would plan carefully. And when the time was right, I would destroy his reputation. He thought I was finished. But this was just the beginning. After everything happened, the office felt different. People who used to smile at me stopped talking to me. Some avoided eye contact. Some whispered when I walked past. I felt like a stranger in the company I helped build. Adrian walked around like a king. He laughed with managers. He acted like nothing happened. Before, my ideas were important. Now no one listened to me. In meetings, I would speak. People would look at Adrian instead of me. Sometimes Adrian would say, "That idea is not necessary," even when it was my idea that helped the company grow before. I started to feel used. I gave the company my time, my energy, my brain. And when money came, they pushed me away. I thought, was I only useful when they needed me? That thought hurt more than losing the money. One day, Adrian called me into his office again. He smiled like nothing was wrong and said, Daniel, you should learn to be loyal. Big money is for people who know how to keep quiet. I felt anger burning inside me. He was basically telling me I was stupid for trusting him. That night, I remembered all the nights I stayed late, all the weekends I worked, all the times I defended him in front of clients. I remembered him calling me my future partner, but when money came, he treated me like nothing. I opened my laptop and checked my old folders. I had saved everything for years. Emails, signed contracts, messages, project files, investor agreements. I always liked saving documents. Now those files were my biggest weapon. I stared at the screen and whispered, he thinks I am powerless. He thinks I will stay quiet. He thinks I am scared. Then I smiled for the first time in weeks. He has no idea what I'm capable of. That night, I made a promise to myself. I will not beg. I will not cry. I will not quit. I will expose him step by step. Adrian thought he won. He thought I was finished, but he didn't know this was just the beginning of his downfall. The next day, I went to work like normal. I smiled. I greeted Adrian politely. I acted like I accepted everything. Inside, I was angry, but I knew something important. If I showed my anger, he would destroy me. So I became calm, quiet, careful. I realized Adrian was smart but greedy, and greedy people always make mistakes. I asked myself, how can I beat a powerful CEO? The answer was simple. Proof. No emotions, no shouting, just evidence. Every night after work, I searched through old files. I found the original contract with my $500,000 bonus. Emails where Adrian promised my reward. Messages where he talked about changing the deal. Internal reports showing I created the project I saved everything on. My laptop, a hard drive, cloud storage. If one copy disappeared, others would remain. One day, Adrian called me into his office again. He said, Daniel, stop talking about the bonus. People like you should know their place. I recorded that conversation secretly. His voice was clear. His words were dangerous. This was proof of intimidation. I didn't tell anyone at work. Instead, I met a lawyer in secret. I showed him all my documents and recordings. He looked at me and said, this is fraud. This is breach of contract. And this is abuse of power. He told me, if you expose this correctly, he is finished. For the first time, I felt powerful again. At work, I acted like Adrian was my hero. I praised him in meetings. I defended him in front of others. He started trusting me again. He thought I was broken. He thought I gave up. But I was just waiting. My lawyer helped me contact a board member quietly. I also contacted one investor who respected my work. I told them, I have proof Adrian stole my $500,000 bonus and changed contracts. At first, they didn't believe me, so I sent them everything. Their reactions changed fast. The board started a quiet investigation. Adrian didn't know. He kept acting like the king of the company. But behind the scenes, people were watching him. Every day, I walked past Adrian's office and watched him smile. He thought he won. He thought I was nothing. But in my mind, I kept saying, you stole my money. Now I will expose everything. He had no idea his empire was about to fall. A few weeks after the board started investigating, Adrian changed. He became nervous. He stopped joking. He started watching everyone closely. One day, he walked to my desk and said, Daniel, you've been very quiet lately. Everything okay? I smiled and replied, yes, sir. Just focused on work. Inside, my heart was beating fast, but I stayed calm. I knew if he suspected me, everything could fail. So I acted even more loyal. I praised him in meetings. I supported his decisions. I laughed at his jokes. He relaxed again. He thought I was scared and broken, but I was just acting. Late at night, I received emails from a board member. They asked me, how long has this been happening? Do you have proof he changed the contract? Did he threaten you? I sent them everything. Contracts, emails, voice recordings. They were shocked. One big investor called me secretly. If this is true, Adrian will lose everything, he said. We trusted him with millions. He promised to support me and push for justice. That's when I knew Adrian was in serious trouble. My lawyer called me and said, be careful. Powerful people fight back. If he finds out, he may try to fire you or destroy evidence. So I stayed quiet. I deleted nothing. I kept backups everywhere. One morning, I saw board members come to the office quietly. They didn't meet Adrian. They went straight into a private room. They stayed there for hours. I knew they were discussing him. My proof was working. A few days later, Adrian called an emergency meeting. He looked serious and angry. Someone here is leaking information to the board, he said. This company cannot survive traitors. He looked around the room slowly. For a moment, his eyes stopped on me. My hands felt cold, but I stayed calm. I knew he might try to erase everything. So I gave copies of all evidence to my lawyer, a trusted investor, a board member. Even if he deleted files, it was too late. At night, I felt scared. He was powerful. He had money and lawyers. But I also felt strong. He betrayed me. He stole from me. Now I was fighting back. One evening, I saw Adrian alone in his office. He was shouting on the phone. He looked worried. He looked scared. I thought to myself, you thought I was weak. You thought I would stay silent. Now you are the one who should be afraid. The board meeting was coming, and his world was about to collapse. Days passed, and everything felt tense. People whispered in the office. Managers acted nervous. No one knew what was really happening, but everyone felt something big was coming. I knew the truth. The board was preparing to confront Adrian, and I was the key witness. Every night, I organized my proof again and again. I didn't want to make any mistake. I prepared the original signed contract with my $500,000 bonus, emails where Adrian promised my reward, messages where he talked about removing my name, recordings of him threatening me. Reports showing my work created millions for the company. I put everything in clear folders. I even printed copies in case computers failed. One night, a board member called me privately. Daniel, be ready. We will confront Adrian soon. You may need to speak in front of everyone. My heart started beating fast. This was scary, but this was also what I wanted. I won't lie. I was scared. Adrian was powerful. He had lawyers, money, and connections. If I failed, my career could end forever. I asked myself, what if they don't believe me? What if he wins? But then I remembered how he laughed at me, how he stole my money, how he treated me like nothing. That gave me courage. Suddenly, Adrian changed his behavior toward me. He started inviting me to meetings again. He praised my work in front of others. He even said, Daniel, you're still one of my best people. I realized something. He felt danger. He was trying to fix his image. But it was too late. I sent copies of everything to my lawyer, a trusted investor, a board member outside the company. Even if Adrian destroyed every file in the office, he could not erase the truth. The night before the big meeting, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what would happen tomorrow. Would he deny everything? Would he blame me? Would he threaten me again? Then I told myself, truth is stronger than power, and today I have the truth. The next morning, the board scheduled an emergency meeting with Adrian. Everyone was invited. Investors joined online. Lawyers were present. I walked into the building holding my evidence folder. I knew this meeting would change everything. Adrian was about to face the truth, and I was about to expose him in front of everyone. The conference room was silent. Board members sat on one side. Investors joined through video call. Lawyers were present, and at the head of the table sat Adrian, confident, calm, smiling. When I walked in, he looked at me for a few seconds. His smile faded slightly. He knew something was wrong. One board member spoke first. We've received serious allegations regarding financial misconduct and contract manipulation. Adrian leaned back in his chair and laughed softly. This is ridiculous, and he said, probably a misunderstanding. Then the board member turned to me. Daniel, please explain. My hands felt cold, but my voice stayed steady. I opened my folder. First, the original contract with my $500,000 bonus. Signed, approved, official. Second, emails from Adrian promising my reward. Third, internal messages where he discussed removing my name. The room became very quiet. Adrian's face changed. Then I played the recording. His voice filled the room. People like you should know their place. You could hear the threat clearly. One investor muted his microphone. Another board member shook his head. Adrian's confidence disappeared. Adrian stood up suddenly. This is taken out of context. He's trying to damage the company. But the evidence was too clear. A board member responded calmly. The contract was altered after signing. Funds were redirected. This is fraud. The word fraud hit him like a punch. One major investor spoke. We trusted you with millions. If you can steal from your top employee, you can steal from us. That sentence changed everything. Adrian realized he was losing control. After 2 hours of discussion, the board made their decision. Adrian was suspended immediately, removed from financial control, placed under legal investigation. He looked at me with anger and disbelief, but he couldn't say anything. Power had left him. A few weeks later, the company reached a legal settlement. I received my full $500,000 bonus, compensation for damages. A formal apology from the board. Adrian quietly resigned before the investigation finished. His reputation was destroyed. Money is important, but respect is more important. He thought I was weak. He thought I would stay silent. But he forgot something. Smart people don't shout. They collect proof. The day my money entered my bank account, I didn't celebrate loudly. I just sat quietly and smiled. Not because I won money, but because I proved something to myself. Never let powerful people steal from you. Stay calm, be smart, and fight with evidence, not emotions. Adrian thought I would stay silent. He was wrong.